Hey guys, Joe Winton here from Thinkaholics. We're here at Texas Dreamin'. I'm here with Matthew and Andrew from OwnBackup. So guys, what can you tell everybody about what you guys do?
So we're the #1 rated backup and recovery solution on the Salesforce App Exchange. We have over almost 100 5-star reviews right now. We're helping clients recover their data.
Okay. And just if people aren't aware of why do I need a backup Salesforce, isn't Salesforce doing that? Like, just give kind of quick explanation of the value of making your own backups.
It's like a common misconception.
Yeah.
It's like, it is in the cloud, so our data is secure, which it is, but you only have a copy of your current data. So what we do is daily snapshots of your environment. So if you had any kind of a bad integration, you could roll back to your previous state, previous point of what the data looked like.
So as an example, maybe someone or maybe even an integration went in and changed some data, and then a week went by and no one noticed. It's gone, right? So
in Salesforce.
Right. Yeah. So with OwnBackup, you can actually come back, get that stuff, right?
You can at any point in time. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think one of the things that's great is that it allows administrators and architects to be proactive. It will send them an actual alert when any edits, changes, modifications, deletions happen within the solution, and it makes them proactively see what's going on in their instance. And you have these global organizations with lots of different instances, many different users, developers, sandboxes, partial sandboxes. So you have full understanding of what's going on across all the different orgs.
So do you need like a developer to be able to use this thing, or how hard is it to use?
Now the nice thing about OwnBackup, it is a point-and-click admin type tool, right? Our typical user is the Salesforce administrator. Like Andrew's saying, they can really monitor their org, stay on top of it, and then if for any reason they had any kind of a data loss, they'll be able to easily recover from that.
Okay, so daily backups, disaster recovery, point and click. In terms of getting the data back in, right? Do you have to, like with Salesforce, you have to ask Salesforce for the backup. They give you a CSV, and you got to load that in, figure out what you want to load, and load it in manually. So how does it work with OwnBackup?
Okay. So what we do is basically we're tracking that information on a daily basis, getting that snapshot. If you have to go back to a point in time, we're going to show you what's changed. We're going to show you what was deleted, what was changed. Then you can selectively restore. So you can pick, do I want to restore everything? Or if this was something, like you said, from 2 weeks ago, you've had other changes in the environment during that time, you can go in and just pick the fields, pick the records you want to bring back in.
So this is all through the App Exchange product in Salesforce. Admins can do it. You don't got to dig through a database.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So we did talk to you guys at Tahoe. So what have you been working on? What's new?
I think the biggest thing that's really getting a lot of attention from the community right now is we have a replicate feature. So because we're outside of Salesforce and we can back up multiple environments, we have the ability to move data from one environment to another. So a lot of times, an admin or developer spins off a new sandbox. It's empty. They need to populate it with data. You can select a subset of your production data, move it over to that sandbox, and now you have good test data.
Okay, that's cool. What about I just thinking of a scenario off the top of my head, a company gets acquired, right? Would you be able to use that to migrate data into, or is that not a scenario?
Not typical.
Not a typical one, okay.
Right.
All right, so sandbox, that's one, right? What are some other scenarios like that?
One of the big ones is maybe you have a large release happening, and you know that you're going to do it over the weekend. So what you might do is you want to just force a backup manually, and then you can actually label that something that you can recall or remember that in the archives maybe 3 years in the past. You remember that was a giant release that happened, and then you have that over a 5-6 year period.
Right, because we're doing both data and the metadata.
Okay, and that's an important thing for people to understand, right? Salesforce only backs up data.
Only the weekly export's just data.
Right,
Yeah.
so not only is it the data, but also the report someone made, or a workflow that was created, or a field that was added, right?
Configuration information.
Reports, list views, all of your configuration, triggers, permissions.
Right.
Cool, okay, all right. So I know you guys talked about some of the community events that you're involved in, so tell me about that.
These are great. I mean, these regional events like Texas Dreamin', like you said earlier, we were at Tahoe, we were down at Southeast Dreamin', we're going to be doing Midwest Dreamin' in the summer. So these events are really good. We do the world tour, but these are kind of interesting because you really get people on a small scale. local groups, get to relate to people a little bit. And we're also very active in our local communities. We're from New Jersey. There's a New York City user group we go to. There's 2 in New Jersey. There's 2 in Philly. So we get out, we see a lot of people in the community, and they basically understand how we can help them, save their data, protect their data.
It really is a new thing. I mean, as everybody moves over to the cloud, I mean, it's something everybody wasn't thinking about. So you really got to evangelize this new concept. Everybody thinks backup, what they had in the old on-premises, is included when you have a software as a service subscription. And they think of it in terms of uptime and not about necessarily the data that you might lose. And
right.
That's what we're protecting.
I remember when I first learned about this, solution and OwnBackup. I mean, it was definitely eye-opening for me, and that was a few years ago. So, I've definitely been an advocate of it every time I'm talking to customers.
We appreciate that. That's excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so if people want to try it out or get a hold of you guys to talk more, what's the best thing for them to do?
OwnBackup.com. You can see all the features, the pricing. We do a free trial. You can actually demo the software on your environment and see how the backups run in your own place.
Yeah, and you can actually, work on it, actually connect it to your actual data, and then that actually becomes, if you come on board, your production instance, and we onboard you in about 10 to 15 minutes, and then you're done. And then, support is fully included on an ongoing basis.
Cool. All right, guys, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, if you like our videos, please be sure to subscribe and follow us on Twitter.
Thank you.